Welcome back to the arena. We are now showcasing a new, it's not really very new. It sort of revolves around an alternate form of the Bant or Simic ramp slash manipulation deck. Um, I got this idea off of uh, Covert Go Blue (CGB). He's a very respectable MTG player, and he does make some very interesting decks. You should go check him out. But for this, we just wanted to check out the validity of the deck that he created. I'm a fan of CGB, and I check out his videos every now and then. So I give full credit to CGB for doing this, making this deck, and surprisingly it works. I have to admit that not a lot of his decks work as nicely, but then again, it is just it is simply a alternate card composition for the whole Simic or Bant ramp slash mass manipulation kind of deck. So what's different about this deck is well, obviously we have all the nieces, the massive manipulations, and the Hydroid Crassus and the ramp cards. But what really makes this deck really unique is the Leyline of Abundance. Some of you may have already known what this is, but for those of you who don't, it basically, just like all the ley lines, once you start off your hand with any of the ley lines, you can put it down on the board for free of cost. And so for this particular ley line, whenever you tap a creature or for mana, you add an additional one. Plus, it has an activate ability, which is what is that, 6, 7, 8 to cast. So you put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Now take note, this might be something you might think as impossible to achieve, but you kind of realize that with these ramp decks, you actually have a huge surplus of mana. And the only time you really get to use them is when you're probably going for a mass manipulation, or I don't know, some other big card like maybe a Shalai, and combo it with the activated ability. But most of the time you're flooding with mana, and you're just waiting for the next big drop, maybe to use it on a Hydroid Crassus for a huge card draw and heal, or as I said earlier, mass manipulation and grab a whole bunch of cards from your enemy and start playing their cards. So Leyline of Abundance actually fixes that sort of problem, and it really utilizes the whole mana flood situation that this kind of archetype has, because most of the time, when the deck works, it works. It's very consistent. But when it doesn't work, when these ramp mass manipulation decks don't work, you're faced with a whole bunch of Llanowar elves on the board, incubation druids, or paradise druids on the board, and Leyline of Abundance corrects that by allowing you to weaponize those ramp cards by putting +1/+1 counters on them. And since most likely by turn 5, or I should say ideally by turn 5, you should have Anissa on the board, you will have your mana will basically just be doubled, and so you can activate if you're unlucky and you don't have 2 Leyline Abundance. In fact, if you're not lucky at all, as in completely 0, and don't have a Line of Abundance, it's not the worry to cast it, the fork to cast. It might seem a little expensive, but if you have all these mana on the board, it doesn't really affect you anymore as much, and you know that next turn you'll have even more mana once you've put down the Leyline of Abundance, and you can do even more. You can ramp up your creatures, your ramp creatures, the Llanowar elves, the paradise druid, with a +1/+1 counter. And remember that there's so much mana that you can do. You can turn the flaws of the deck, of the archetype, into a positive thing. You can weaponize these. You can finally weaponize the Leafkin Druid for God's sake. which has up until now has only been a mana creature. You know, a creature that provides mana, especially that 2/2 will now become a that two mana will now turn into a 3 mana if you have the Leyline Abundance on the board. Now, obviously, this kind of deck still has its problems, and sometimes it's still not enough. No matter how many lands you have, especially since no matter how many mana you have, especially since in this deck we are running with only 24. So we have Risen Reef to help us sort of ramp up even more by hoping that we get that that land draw and that extra land on the board. Or if not, we can always have the Cavalier of Thorns. We can get an extra land from that and sort of try to figure out how to kill Cavalier of Thorns so that we can get back our cards from the grave should maybe we need it. So it's a mix of a lot of reanimator stuff, or not really a reanimator, but redraw cards from the graveyard. And at the same time, you're sort of mass manipulating, and you're also you're not only able to ramp with the mana, you're also able to ramp with the creatures when you have Leylines of Abundance. And I have had some crazy games with this card, or there would be times when I would get 2 on the board immediately, and I would just ramp like crazy. I'm not really sure. I'll have to check after edit. I'll have to check if I do have a gameplay footage of that particular game that I had, but I will definitely check it out and see and include it into the gameplay, which we're going into in a second. Okay. This is pretty okay. We could easily ramp into Nisa. We don't have Abundance though, so that's kind of sad. Oh, Legion's Land. It's always a pleasure to see people use Legion's Land. Oh wow, you are 1 card away. That's sad. Now we'll never be able to use Leyline Abundance ever. So we can put down Risen Reef. Hopefully we get a land. Yep, there's the land. And we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 that we can put down Abundance down. Wow. He's working fast. He's working real fast. Alright. Oh, Legion's Land. It's always a pleasure to see people use Legion's Land. Oh wow, you are 1 card away. That's sad. Now we'll never be able to use Leyline Abundance ever. Alright, so we can put down Risen Reef. Hopefully we get a land. Yep, there's the land. And we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 that we can put down Abundance down. We can block this, and he'll be able to do 4 damage. Is that 4 damage? Yeah. Yep. So we do 4 damage off of it. Okay. I honestly don't. How do we put this since we don't? And then we'll have to put that there, put that up there, and hybrid classes. That's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oops, it's supposed to be 8. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. That'll heal us a bit. Oh, that's a lot of land. I am fine. I am fine with that. I am super fine with that. Yeah, sure, it's gonna kill our Nisa. I don't mind. Oh, that's a lot of vampires. What does this do? Attack back parental. Oh no, really? Why? Do you have a board wipe? Could it be that you have a board wipe? It's certainly possible. We will chump block. Chump block for days. At least can do it. I don't think he has a board wipe, because if he did, he'd have to take. He'd have to get rid of his cards. So no, I don't think he has a board wipe in there. Most likely. Most likely he don't. Alright, so we have a lot of cards on the board, and I have no idea what we're gonna do with them. Yeah, so no attack and turn. I mean, if we death touch. Okay. And another death touch. We can double block with the Llanowar elves. And then probably we'll tap the incubation druid if he doesn't do anything interesting now. Oh, that is that's a lot. You sure you wanted? Are you sure you wanted to do that? Okay, so he's gonna pass. Now he has to discard a whole bunch of cards. You sure you wanted to do that, sir? That's a lot of land. Okay, so we can tap this, and wait, actually, yeah, resolve. Another land? No, thank you. And we'll untap him. We'll put this down. And we can actually afford to. Yeah, we can do this. Mm-hmm. And turn. I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do. Probably just wait until I can get my Nisa to like plus. Okay. Now press we control get this one. Oh, I can ramp bigger than you. I can ramp bigger than you, sir. I can ramp way bigger. Each opponent loses 2 life, you gain 1. For every... Oh, okay, so it gets tapped. You sure you want to do that? Because I can ramp way bigger than you. Like, way bigger, pal. Another land that I will not need.
Behold, nature's true power.
Alright, I think we'll put this down. Oh my god, he is gonna be so pissed. How many is that? I can take his 3 flyers. Uh, there's so many. All right, so I can take his. That's one, two. That's one. Actually, I only want. High stamina. Good. I only want 1, 2, and 3. 4 and 5. Maybe 6. 5 or 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I mean, this is kind of okay. We do have ramp. We can breeding pool, incubation, leafkin, or actually breeding pool, yeah, hinterland, then incubation. Oh, wow. It's been vampire. Okay. Vampires. Vampires. Does he have Soren? Maybe he has a removal of some sort. No, you can't. You can't spam the kitty anymore. For some reason. Spam be gone. Spam be gone. Oh, that's an early that's an early one. Alright, so we can Prison Reef. Hope it's a land. It's a scry land. Good. Ooh, that's good. Nisa. No complaints here. We didn't get abundance, so that's something. Alright, yeah, he's gonna attack. Of course, we're not gonna block because he's gonna boop it up. There we go. He's gonna go 4 damage, then it's gonna get a counter. We can, in retrospect, do you want to pay life for this? Yeah. Pay life for it.
Witness the
Cut
tides
down.
that bind us all.
Grab us a breeding pool.
The land
Not
fights for
to
us.
block though. I actually want the Leafkin Druid. But if we have to block, if he's gonna attack, yeah, we probably want to keep it in our pocket, keep it in our pants. I'd be glad to trade the Risen Reef. Yeah, I'd be more than willing to trade the Risen Reef at this point, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then yeah, I'm more than willing to trade for that. He doesn't have trampled though, so he can't do much. We can put down the Cavalier, maybe. I'm thinking of maybe adapting the Incubation Druid, but that's kind of a long shot there. So we'll tap this, take that.
Rise, my elemental friend.
And actually, yeah, I think we want to put down the Cavalier of Thorns, get a land, and sacrifice it to the Knight of Ebon Legion. This one, translate from Gambit. Are you reading? Are you seriously reading the Cavalier of Thorns? You don't know what it does? Okay. Sure, sure, buddy. If you don't know what it does, sure. That's on you. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's a bunch of land, and there's a mass manipulate in there too. I want to put down the Leafkin so that it gets the +2, so that we can get the +2 mana on next turn. We at this point we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, at this point we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We can attack with the breeding pool, the 2 breeding pools. He can block. He's welcome to block. But we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that's 10. We can take 2, 4, 6, 8. We can take 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We can take 1, 2, 3, 4. We can take 5. Wow. We have a lot of mana. We can take 5. And if we manage to get the Cavalier of Thorns dead, we can bring back the mass manipulation. Yeah, he's thinking. He's thinking. Let him think about it real hard. Let him think hard and true. So if our 2 lands survive, we can tap the incubation druid. I think he's thinking of sacrificing it and going to draw a card. He is playing aristocrats though. He sort of aristocrats-ish. Oh wow. Destroy up to 3 cards. Target creatures with toughness X or less if X's. Wow. Okay. So that does reduce what we can do. So that's, but that doesn't stop what we can do. We can still take 2, I think. If we tap, we still have like a whole bunch of. Yeah, he doesn't want to attack. He's too afraid. He's too scared. Oh, you're scared.
Nature's true power.
Okay, so we can take 2, right? 1, 2. Pay. We can take 2. If he won't do anything, then I will. If he wants to play passively, then sure, that's up to him. That's his loss. Regardless, it's GG. I have lethal. He has to put something down on the board or destroy my deck, my board. Ah, okay, that's interesting. So I don't have lethal. Oh wait, I still do. I have lethal. Yeah, I have lethal.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
Good game. Oh wow, GG. Mulligan, without a doubt, mulligan. Okay, we can keep. Probably put down the Leafkin. Alright, we'll put this down first. Then we can incubation druid. Although Leafkin druid is just a little bit harder to deal with, especially with the thing. But he is playing Esper, so I'll take my chances. We'll have 4. Oh wow, okay, cast down. Right, okay. So he's playing Esper. We can put down the Hydroid Crassus for 2, draw a card. Notes of Kaya. Okay. Okay, so he does have the removals. Okay, so we can't put down thing for. Okay. Wow, if he continues with this, he
Sorry, I'm late.
bravo, good job.
I've got it.
Good job with the. We get the draw. That's good. Good enough for me. We do have 5 on the next turn. That's that.
That's more
And
like
he's
it.
gonna try and figure out a way to get rid of my Hydroid Crassus. That's not a problem. If we put this down. We put this down on the board. And we have 5. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. That's not a problem. At least it's baiting out the stuff that's important. So put down the Cavalier down and it gives us a land. Probably this Scry land. 1, 2, 3, 4. There goes the. Oh, this is good. Nisa. We can always, if he destroys it, we can always like put back the thing. Bring back mass manipulation or Leyline. I wonder what
I've got time.
we want to do. Mass manipulation or land. Oh wow, he destroys it, exiles it. Point. Here you go. Hello. We're not done here. If you thought that we were done, you were gravely mistaken. Anticipate, look at the top 2 cards and oh, nice. So that means I get to do this, right? He's not gonna have spell pierce, obviously.
Seek shelter in my stewardship. Harness the elements.
Okay, maybe he will heal. Maybe he has the Dread Horde. That's fine.
You just let me know if you're up for round 2.
I just don't want him bouncing my cards back. He probably has the board wipe, which I am actually sort of counting on.
The land shall conquer you.
He might also have a thought eraser somewhere in there. Oh, he wants to use it. That's so cute. He doesn't want to take the chance. So exile. That's 1. No, that's so cute. Okay, we'll take action and put in some basic lands there. And okay, I think that's good enough. Mm-hmm. Ooh, wow. Draw 3 cards. If you cast this budget, scry 3, then draw 3 instead. Ooh. Very, very nice card you have there. Alright, so we'll probably put down this and the Cavalier Thorns. Probably another scry there. Let's see what we got on the top of our hand. Oh, there's our Nisa. And mass manipulation. Okay. Tap that.
The land fights
Force
for
him
us.
to do something again. We have a lot of land, so I don't think I'm too worried. He has to destroy the Nisa, or he has to destroy the Cavalier of Thorns. Sadly, we didn't get abundance, but I don't think, even if we did get abundance, it feels like it would have been a little too slow. Oh, too bad. What a waste. Alright, well, we can just attack like this now. So he's not gonna have anything on the board. I think he's hesitant to use. Bounce the. He's gonna hit the fairy. Bounce the. Okay.
Let's try this.
Wonder why though. Ooh, Braska. It's gonna have that. And it's not gonna change much. I still get the Leaf Druid. And I get to do this.
worry. I got this.
Ooh, Narset.
I have practiced
Okay.
against men to keep
It's
an
not
open
bad,
mind.
Narset. I actually just want to. Ooh, Oath. Kaya. Huh. Why don't you put that down too? Let's see how it goes.
This will be child's play.
He's got 3
Am I?
mana.
I'm gone for now, but not forever.
He's playing like a really old school,
Here we go.
and he did leave. Let's see if he has it. I think he does though. No, he doesn't. Oh wow.
Hone your prowess.
All right, shuffle that. Okay, so we'll take out the settle the wreckage, and maybe the spark.
Good for you. Am I?
Oh man, really? I feel so bad.